there and welcome. It's another beautiful day in the city of Port Harcourt here. My name is Cyril Aloysius and I'm saying a big thank you to you for joining me on another interesting episode of the newspaper review here on TAF TV. Wobodo Kosi is the person here to look at the papers with me for today. Wobodo, how you doing?
I'm fine. I'm good.
All right. So together we are going to be bringing you the headlines in different papers across the nation. I will start first by looking at the Vanguard newspaper, where we have some interesting headlines. The boldest headline in the Vanguard here says presidential poll, drama as Labour Party factions clash at tribunal. Presidential poll, drama as Labour Party factions clash at tribunal. Okay, details of this headline is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. And on page 12, here we have Anambra. US vows to fish out killers of embassy staff. Anambra, US vows to fish out killers of embassy staff. Death toll rises to 10. No American killed. That's according to US. Buhari saddened by killings. Okay, more details of this headline is on page 12 of the Vanguard. On page 2, this one says why and how petrol subsidy must go, according to Mogalu. Why and how petrol subsidy must go, according to Mogalu, on page 2 of the Vanguard. On page 4 now we have 10th NAS leadership. 10th NAS leadership. Tension as APC NWC recommends a free contest. That's on page 4 of the Vanguard. And in the world of sports now on page 30, this one says, Aguavon is saying Golden Eaglets will be promoted to Flying Eagles. Golden Eaglets will be promoted to Flying Eagles. That's Aguavon saying on page 30 there in the world of sports, the Vanguard. And this one here on page 7 says, Saint Obi, failed marriage led to his death. Saint Obi, failed marriage led to his death, according to Zeb Ejiro. Okay, that story is on page 7. And on page 9, this one says, Blinken calls Tinubu, pledges to strengthen U.S.-Nigeria relations. Blinken calls Tinubu, pledges to strengthen U.S.-Nigeria relations. That's on page 9 of the Vanguard. And on page 25, this one says, hospitals service disrupted as resident doctors begin 5-day warning strike. Hospital services disrupted as resident doctors begin 5-day warning strike. That's on page 25. And on page 10, prelate emeritus of Methodist Church, Nigeria, Mbang, dies at 86. That story is on page 10. And lastly, in the Vanguard on page 19, this one says manufacturers challenge federal government over recession in sector. Manufacturers challenge federal government over recession in sector. That's on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper. Kosi, please, I'd like to get your reaction on let's say a touching headline on page 12. It's about the killing of the U.S. embassy staff. Okay, U.S. vows to fish out killers of embassy staff. Please, I'd like to get your reaction to this headline.
Okay. This killing took place on that was this last Tuesday. So according to when I was going through the papers, according to what they said, that about there are 9 inside the convoy and 4 was killed. So and including the people killed was Nigerian the mission consulate, so U.S. consulate to Nigeria, and they were going on a mission. On a mission, they came to Nigeria to. There was a place they funded for flooding. You understand?
Okay.
So they are going for the meeting. So on their way along Obaro, that was where they were attacked and 4 were killed. So my question is, the high rate of the insecurity in Nigeria has eaten deep into Nigerians. So saying that nobody is safe, even foreigners are not safe. You understand? Even as much as they said most of them are not, most of them are Nigerian nationals. But as long as they are under US coverage, you understand, they are citizens of US. You understand? And I won't blame US if they fail to fish out their killers, the killers of those consulates.
Mm.
And to me, I feel that Nigerian government are not really doing well, especially when it comes to insecurity. The
Security,
insecurity
okay.
has become a topic of the day, order of the day. People have been talking a whole lot of things, but nothing has been done to it. And in this Anambra precisely, I stay in Anambra, and if you look at the series of killing, you understand? Yeah, I do hear of it, though I've not witnessed, but I do hear of the killing and all that. So I feel the governor Soludo is not really doing well in curbing insecurity in Anambra.
Mm.
And I feel ever since he entered the seat, he has not really like looked into it like the past predecessors
Okay.
did, you understand? So this Obaro is mostly known for all these River Nile distant areas. They are like mostly flooded, you understand? So for me, I feel the killing in this Obaro by this unknown gunmen, I feel it's not really cool. It's a wicked thing to do, because this and what image are we portraying? You understand? What image are we portraying outside there? So for them to kill it, to kill the consulate, I feel that the government of Nigeria and also the government of Anambra in particular, because they are not the only one. It's just that they're not the only one that have been killed. It's just that their own came out. You understand?
Mm.
To the headline and all that. A lot of killings, series of killings have been taking place in Anambra, and I feel that the governor and the government of Anambra are not really doing well in curbing insecurity.
Insecurity. Okay, just before I draw the curtain on this particular headline, Kosi, how, because the US government is saying that they would fish out the perpetrators of this particular crime, how easy do you think that's going to be for them? Because,
And
over,
it
over
is
there, they are used to having, cameras
camera,
fixed in different places, so they'll be
CCTV.
able to track down criminals and all of that. But
It's really going to be a very
in a
difficult
country
task.
like Nigeria, where you
You have
you don't
no
even have
CCTV
any
camera.
CCTV cameras anywhere. So how easy do you think it's going to be for
It's
them?
going to be a very difficult task, you understand? Because um, if assuming we have a system, a standard system in terms of security,
Mm.
like the US had, you understand? In case assuming we have it, it will have been much better, you understand? Because
Okay.
even with like in US, if a crime is committed, the first thing they check is CCTV
TV camera.
cameras around the area, you
Okay.
understand? Just even with the CCTV camera, they can, if all they need is the plate number of um
The
their
vehicle.
car, you
Yeah.
understand? With that they'll be able to track.
The person.
That's like a starting point
Point
in the
of,
investigation,
of
but right
investigation.
now there is nothing like CCTV,
So
especially
how do you
that
now
side. So
begin?
how do they do it? It's going to be a
Extremely
very,
difficult.
exactly, unless unless they can get innocent people and claim that those are the
Obviously,
ones, you
obviously,
understand?
I
No,
was
this
about saying the
Nigeria.
same thing. Well, let's because since it's the US, let's keep our fingers crossed and
Cross and see.
believe that they do the right thing to get the right persons brought to book for this particular crime.
Exactly.
It's a sad one really, because it doesn't really protect the country in a good way.
We
It's a
already,
really
our
sad one.
image is already tarnished
Tarnished
outside
already.
country, and now with this whole killing, like it's really crazy out there.
So how
It's really
far do you
crazy.
think this is really going to go to bring about the good,
Relationship.
yes, the good relationship between Nigeria and US?
No, I don't really think it will really do much of effect on it.
Really?
I don't think
You
so,
think
because
so?
I feel like what they said. They said they are working with Nigerian security agents to fish out the criminal, the
Mm.
perpetrator. But since Nigerian, they are helping them. You understand? In as much as insecurity, it's nobody's fault. You understand? You won't use because of the insecurity in Nigeria and say, okay, we are not trading with you. What in
You
international
think it's
system?
nobody's fault?
It's not that it's nobody's fault. It's people, like, it's the government fault, because assuming the
Obviously.
security, of Nigeria
If the
is
government
like
had done their homework,
standardized, you understand, it
exactly.
would have been much better,
Okay.
at least in fishing out the perpetrators. But right now, you can't blame
The tax
Nigeria.
is
You can't
very difficult right now.
exactly. It's very difficult. But in terms of their relationship with Nigeria, though, I won't say a lot of things, a lot of incidents like this has been done in other countries. You understand? You won't use because of that and say, okay, we are not doing business. And though, yeah, they say an attack on a US citizen is an attack for all. You understand? But you won't use because of it to leave all the bilateral relationship Nigeria has with this US.
Okay.
It's not possible. Do you know the oil barrels of oil they export outside Nigeria every day to every week to US? Do you know, like they are benefiting, they are benefiting too, you understand? Their
Mm.
interest in Nigeria is what they are looking at is mostly the interest, not really about, though they are paying and all that, you understand, but they won't use because of it to cut all ties
Okay.
with Nigeria.
Okay.
Understand?
All right, Kosi, thank you for your thoughts on that headline. Let's look into the Daily Sun newspaper now for more headlines. This one here on page 27 of Daily Sun says, Blinken, U.S. Secretary of State speaks with Tinubu. Blinken, U.S. Secretary of State speaks with Tinubu, harps on stronger U.S.-Nigeria ties. Atiku expresses disbelief, says call contradicts previous stand on 2023 polls. Okay, details of this is on page 27 of the Daily Sun. And on page 6 of Daily Sun now, this one says presidential election. Obi tells tribunal how INEC denied him access to materials in Rivers, Sokoto, and others. Presidential election. Obi tells tribunal how INEC denied him access to materials in Rivers, Sokoto, and others. Okay, details of this also is on page 6 of the Daily Sun. On page 28 now, this one says, don't create rift between Labour. President-elect TUC warns Onanuga. Don't create rift between Labour. President-elect TUC warns Onanuga. That story is on page 28 of the Daily Sun. On page 4 now, this one says, Delta communities threaten to shut all installations over abandoned NDDC road project. Delta communities threaten to shut oil installations over abandoned NDDC road projects. Okay, that story is on page 4 of the Daily Sun. On page 29, this one says APC Stakeholders Forum commends the Sun on objective, unbiased editorial content. APC Stakeholders Forum commends the Sun on objective, unbiased editorial content. Okay, that's on page 29 of the Daily Sun. On page 27, this one says skeletal services in hospitals as doctors begin warning strike. Skeletal services in hospitals as doctors begin warning strike. That's on page 27 of Daily Sun. On page 5, this one says Anambra attack. We will bring perpetrators to justice. That's according to US. Buhari fumes. That's on page 5. On page 4, Zamfara governor attacks EFCC challenges agency to probe presidency ministers. That's on page 4. On page 26, sources anxiety spikes as Nigeria's foreign investment deep by $75 billion. Anxiety spikes as Nigeria's foreign investment dip by $75 billion. That's on page 26. And lastly, in the Daily Sun for today, this one says on page 2, Nigeria heading for crash. Governors warn. Nigeria heading for crash. Governors warn. Say action must be taken now to avoid collapse. Okay, that's the much we can take in the Daily Sun for today. Kosi, please let me get your thoughts on the story here on page 27 concerning Blinken, the U.S. Secretary of State, speaking with Tinubu. What do you make of it?
Seriously, I used to tell people that. Well, okay, when I first read this, I was really like, it's amusing. Like, I was laughing, you understand? Because I remember when the election was concluded, People were like, yeah, everybody, people know that it wasn't really, it was rigged, you understand? And people were like, it doesn't promote democracy. I know US is promoter of democracy and all that. So people has a lot of faith in US in coming to rescue us.
Mm.
People, a lot of people, even like people like dignitaries like Chimamanda Adichie had to write letter to petition to the US and all that. A whole lot of things were done. A lot of petitions were written to this to yes for them to come to our aid. So now for the secretary, you didn't know what it means for United States Secretary of State for him to call Tinubu and for him to support to pledge his allegiance
Mm.
to Tinubu. You know what it means?
It means they don't do, right?
That means like on behalf of yes, they are supporting Tinubu. You understand? So
To become the president.
regardless everything they've done, the effort, whether it was rigged or not, you understand? Yes, they are promoter of democracy. You understand?
Okay.
But if to me, I feel him pledging his allegiance to this thing, they are also demoting democracy.
Okay. So do you
understand?
do you feel or think that there are other sides to this story that maybe we don't really know about? Because like you said, US are promoters of democracy.
Democracy.
Okay.
That's what I used to tell
So
people. I used to tell people.
do you feel like the US Secretary of State congratulating Tinubu and speaking with him
It's for
actually
interest,
yes,
benefit.
okay?
It's
Okay.
for benefit. I used to tell people that in international politics, there is no permanent friend and no permanent enemies.
Okay.
What they have is permanent interest. You understand? As long as their interests align with each other,
Okay.
they don't have a problem. Whether they disregard everything apart from that interest, you understand? As long as their interests align, they don't have any issue with anybody. So, in terms of, they know that once Tinubu becomes the president, the oil that goes out from Nigeria will also reach them. You understand?
Okay.
The unabridged relationship they had with the former president, that's the personal president now,
Muhammadu
Buhari,
Buhari.
you understand? It will still be handed over to them. You understand? Their relationship will still be strong like it was with Muhammad Buhari.
Okay.
You understand? So I feel him congratulating Tinubu is for their own interest, their own primary interest, their own state interest.
How do you think this is going to make Nigerians feel at this point?
Nigerians don't have a
Who
say. Sorry to say,
Nigerians
but
who are still in any let's say hoping that just
we
maybe
just
countries
like
like the US might just come to our
when I read
rescue.
it, I was like, look, God, we are looking up to you right now because as it is now, US already pledged their allegiance to Tinubu, so nothing can be done. You understand? Even unless maybe only through the intervention of God that okay maybe caught with this recent ongoing trial.
Okay.
Maybe God can in
Walk
his
through that.
infinite mercy walk through us, you understand, and make a way for us.
Okay.
So for now, depending on US is like it's high sounding nothing. Like it's a lost hope.
Okay.
So
All right. Thank you so much, Kosi, for your thoughts. We'll go on a quick break right now, and when we return, we would take our last paper and then we'll call it a day. Please stay tuned.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Still on the newspaper review, you are welcome back from that short break. And right about now, we'll be taking a look at our last paper for the day, which is the Guardian newspaper. Headlines here in the Guardian. This one says, battle in states as 18 ministers lobby Tinubu to retain portfolio. battle in states as 18 ministers lobby Tinubu to retain portfolio. Details of this headline is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And on page 3 now, this one says doctors strike. Doctors strike grounds activities at National Hospital. Doctors strike grounds activities at National Hospital. That's on page 3 of the Guardian. On page 8, this one says hoodlums take over failed Oshodi Machine Link Road. Hoodlums take over failed Oshodi Machine Link Road. That's on page 8 of The Guardian. On page 3, this one says, Atiku in disbelief as U.S. Secretary calls Tinubu pledges support for incoming government. Okay, that's on page 3. And on page 6, this one says, PEPC INEC, Obi resume hostilities as a tribunal. Labour Party leaders fight over chairmanship tussle. That's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And on page 24 now of the Guardian, this one says, Telcos give banks ultimatum on USSD debt as presidency steps in. Telcos gives bank ultimatum as USSD debt as presidency steps in. That's on page 27 of The Guardian. Okay, I think that's the much we can take in The Guardian for today. Kosi, please, I'd like to get your thoughts concerning the ongoing strike by doctors. This one here is on page 3. It says, doctors strike ground activities at national hospitals. How do you react to this?
The fact that even the health sector, not just the security sector, but the health sector is in trouble is something that is really troubling.
Because we can't really,
It's something that is
undermine the
troubling me
importance
because,
of
exactly. Do you
the
know
health
what
sector.
it means that the health sector, that's the government health sector, is in jeopardy? You know what it means? That means for a country to be said they are successful or they are good, something like that. It shows that their security sector, their health sector, the electricity sector, their road sector, and their water sector, then light sector, their electricity, is functioning, well functioning. You understand? But in a situation where we have a country where even the lights, even the security,
The power
then
sector
it's
not working.
It's not working. Then the security is in trouble. Then the health, that means even we, the Nigerians, we are at risk.
Nothing is almost working in the country.
And the government health sector, it's kind of a bit less expensive. You understand? It's not really expensive like the private hospitals. So most people, with the ongoing inflation and with the ongoing trouble Nigeria is in already, and the hardship, most people, they can't afford the private hospitals. So they choose to go to the government hospital. And now with the strike, what would they do? A whole lot of lives will be lost, and to them it's nothing. Government should look into it, look into their demands. When I was going through the paper, they were saying that the reason why they went on the strike was because they have the number of doctors they have are not much. Imagine one person handling over thousands of patients. That to the extent that even doctors turn to patients. That someone was doing operation and the person collapsed. Imagine a doctor doing the operation, the person collapsed.
Because of too much workload.
And not even the payment is even less. Like, it's not something they can boast of as a doctor. That's why many of them they leave Nigeria, they emigrate and go to other countries.
And I hear they want to pass a bill to keep doctors in Nigeria for at least 5 years.
How can they pass a bill like that, whereas they've not really enhanced and help in the medical system?
Yes.
You understand? If you want to pass those bills,
you have to ensure that the health sector is okay.
Exactly. Proper treatment of the doctors, their pay is, they will increase their pay, their salary, their this thing, everything. Ensure that they have a sustainable and stable system where they will be able to work and not even look at they will know that even if you are working in the government health sector, you'll be like, okay, yeah, no need of going outside the country, whereas you have everything you need here.
Mm.
You understand? So this should ensure that even though they are passing the bill, they should ensure the well-being of the doctors. They also human
I
beings.
want to
They
take
have
care of.
families.
Yes.
They have families to take care of. They have people that depend on them too. You understand?
Mm.
And they went on strike because they feel that they needed their voice to be heard. They needed their voice to be their this thing, their intention to be passed to the government. You understand? And that is the only way they can get the attention of the government. So I feel also of spending billions of money in something that is not necessary. This should focus on the health sector too.
Okay.
You understand? This should help in payment of salary. They should also help in sustaining the environment in which
Okay.
the doctors work. So they won't really think of going outside for greener pasture.
All right. So just before I actually draw the curtain on this headline, so because you know, the issue of improving the health sector is not really a today's discussion. It's been there for ages now. And we've seen almost the same thing in the educational sector, you know, the government and ASU, you know, fighting with the government to increase salaries and, you know, pay up previous salary and stuff like that. Now we are looking at the health sector. Doctors are also wanting to go on strike because of their well-being is not being taken care of and stuff like that. So what do you think that this strike right now is really going to have the desired effect, judging from previous experiences from the educational sector?
Okay.
Judging from that experience, do you think?
Education sector is different from health sector.
How do you mean?
When it means, yeah,
because without the educational sector, we would not be talking about the health sector because the health sector needs to be educated.
But education is very important. But when it comes to education and life, health sector, we are talking about life here.
They are both important. They are all important.
No. I'm not saying don't judge me or don't conclude. I'm not saying they are not important. They are important, but there's something called in economics. There's something called scale of preference. You understand? When it comes to scale of preference,
so you mean the health sector comes first?
Exactly, because
you have to be healthy to learn.
For you to learn, you understand? You can't be sick and then you are learning. What do you know you are learning? Life first before education. You understand? So I feel with this ongoing strike, if it's a system that is okay, if it's a government that is working, they will attend and they will call their attention.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Kosi. Judging from what we have been seeing from previous strikes that have been happening in this country so far, let's not forget, Labour are also going on strike. What's their name? The education center are also going on strike previously before now, and we've seen the body language and reaction of the government towards these people.
That's what I'm saying.
So judging from that, do you see anything positive coming out from this particular strike now?
For me, I feel because Nigerian government, they are not really working much. They are not, maybe their attention to their allegiance to their citizens is not really their top priority. I feel that it will take time for them to call their attention to order. You understand? It will take time for them to listen. But I feel
eventually the government will listen.
They will, because you don't expect by the time people start dying. A lot of people have appointments they have to.
Must people die first before the government listens?
Exactly. That's why I said we don't have a functional system of government. You understand?
Because it's worrying that the government won't listen to your plea unless they see someone die.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Assuming it's maybe someone once told me that I shouldn't even, when we were talking about Nigeria, I shouldn't use US or UK to compare them. You understand? It's like you comparing someone that is here and so that is here. You understand? So I feel that our Nigerian government should do more. They should do more in helping the health sectors. You understand? Because it's when you treat someone well, when the person is happy, the person will be able to carry out their duties. You understand? They should
wholeheartedly.
Exactly. They should also, when they have, it's just like you having a healthy environment where you work, a paying or a stable,
well-paying
money. You understand? Salary. If you're carrying out your duty, you'll be like, yeah, you'll be happy within yourself. Yeah, because when they are done with medical school, there's something called induction. You understand? They induct them.
Into the
That's
profession.
into the profession. They pledge allegiance to, no matter what, they have to help in carrying, in saving lives, you understand?
Okay.
So I feel also the doctors, they should also, irrespective of not being paid, they should call off the strike and attend to to the patients first.
Okay.
You understand? Why pleading or why still protesting for their voice to be heard? You understand? Because people are dying.
Okay.
People are dying, and it's really, really troublesome and worrisome.
Thank you so much, Kosi Wombodo Kosi, for your time with me and your contribution to the program today. I really do appreciate you. And I want to say
Thank
thank you to
you.
you, to my wonderful viewers who have been faithful to your screen up until this time. Thank you for staying faithful, because without you, this program won't be possible as well. But this is the end of the newspaper review for today. Please, if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please do so. And of course, do want to follow us on our different social media platforms. Check us out on YouTube. We are TAF TV on YouTube. On Instagram, we are TAF TV_NG. Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, we are TAF TV. Cyril Aloysius is my name once again. And I'll say it's a bye for now until I come your way again next time. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching.